An extremely dangerous winter storm is about to slam the United States, and it just got worse. A massive winter storm is less than 48 hours away from impacting the southern United States, which will lead to days of heavy snow and crippling ice. This winter storm is shaping up to be the most severe winter storm since 2021 in the southern United States, with a dangerous mix of heavy snow and significant freezing rain persisting for multiple days from Texas to the East Coast. However, over the last 24 hours, this storm has taken a dramatic turn. Model guidance has shifted noticeably farther north, which has major implications for where the worst ice accumulations and potentially days of power outages could occur, as well as what parts of the country may instead see historic snow. On top of that, some of the coldest weather that we've seen in years is on the way. Temperatures could drop to as low as 30 degrees below zero Friday and Saturday, with wind chills plunging to 60 degrees below zero. This brutal cold will eventually spread into the southern United States, prolonging impacts and worsening conditions as the storm unfolds. So in today's forecast, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to know about this historic winter storm that is about to hit the United States. Now, we have a lot to talk about in today's forecast, and I want to jump right into what we're expecting with this winter storm and what has changed over the last 24 hours. And I want to begin with our future radar. We're going to start out with Friday, late morning and early afternoon, as that is when the winter storm impacts will begin. So right around the late morning, we will start to see some freezing rain across the Texas Panhandle and western Oklahoma. This will be pretty minimal in general. It's going to be very light, but it's going to be enough to really glaze over the roads and make travel impacts really significant pretty early in the day. As we go into Friday afternoon, our cold rain will continue across most of Texas and southern Oklahoma. Notice how there's really no pinks down here. So if you're in DFW, if you're in Abilene, we are leaning towards it being a cold rain for most of Friday. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of freezing rain down that direction, and that's really one of the biggest changes with our forecast, is that all of our wintry precipitation to begin Friday is expected to be further to the north, and that includes even areas down the line towards the Ohio Valley and the southeast as we go into Saturday, and we'll talk more about that here in a moment. As we go later into Friday afternoon and right around rush hour, that is when freezing rain and sleet are going to intensify quickly near Oklahoma City, Tulsa, back into the Texas Panhandle just outside of Lubbock. Light to moderate snow will ramp up across parts of Kansas and even back over towards Colorado and even New Mexico. We have winter storm watches and warnings in effect, and that is another area that snow and freezing rain is on the table. Things are going to intensify very quickly during the late evening on Friday and into Saturday. That is when freezing rain will become moderate to heavy. That goes from Wichita Falls and Childress, Texas, back towards Little Rock, and we'll also have snow starting to ramp up across parts of the Central Plains, including Kansas, Nebraska, and also Tulsa. If you're over in Tulsa, we're going to be right on the freezing rain, sleet, and snow line right around 10 to 11 o'clock on Friday. Now, overnight Friday and early Saturday is when things are going to start to shift a bit further to the east, and this winter storm is going to grow in size very rapidly. To begin Saturday, I think the bulk of our freezing rain will be located near DFW, back towards Memphis, most of Arkansas, and also towards Tulsa. Sleet is also going to be on the table. It's a very thin corridor where that brighter orange color, kind of that pink color is, that goes from just north of Memphis back towards Tulsa, and then moderate to heavy snow will continue, including St. Louis and also Cape Girardeau. If you're over in Springfield, Joplin, you are expecting snowfall Saturday morning, and snow will begin to ramp up in western Kentucky as we go into Saturday during the late morning and early afternoon. Freezing rain is going to get a lot more widespread Saturday afternoon. We are talking about a large swath of freezing rain stretching from Nashville back towards Lubbock. At this point, I do believe Nashville is going to be at more risk of ice instead of snow. I think if you're in Nashville, you need to be preparing right now for an ice storm rather than just snow, because there will be some snow, I think, in Nashville, but I think predominantly during Saturday, it's almost all going to be freezing rain, which means significant ice accumulations on the table. By 2 to 3 o'clock, freezing rain will really start to ramp up back over towards Dallas, Fort Worth. Areas along the Red River back towards Lubbock will be dealing with moderate to heavy freezing rain. This is a region right here where I think our most significant ice storm is going to set up. That is over in eastern Arkansas, southwest Tennessee, and extreme northwestern Mississippi. This corridor is where I think the most significant ice is going to happen. We could actually have some isolated locations over an inch of ice accumulation, which is, in all honesty, catastrophic. So this is definitely a very dangerous situation that will likely evolve there on Saturday. And then during the overnight hours Saturday into Sunday morning, notice how much heavy freezing rain we are going